So 6 months ago, I made a video that absolutely blew up. I helped so many people find the right settings for themselves, and I couldn't be happier that I was the one that actually was able to do that for them, you know? But now 6 months later, I received a bunch of comments from people just saying that they changed the settings that I used to use. What do I do now? And that's exactly why I'm making this video. Whether you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, I will go through these settings and explain to you why these settings might be optimal for your platform. Because if you didn't know, there's a massive difference on playing on a PlayStation controller and an Xbox controller. So if you really struggle with inconsistency and you really want to improve, I would recommend watching this video till the end, because there's some things that are a little more complicated and important than the rest. So I'm just going to skip all the talking and just jump into it. So first up, we have horizontal and vertical sensitivity. So I used to have these at 100 because I was used to it, kind of, because as you play with a fast sense, they just kind of start feeling slower and slower and slower, if that makes any sense. But if you can play comfortably on 100%, I still highly recommend it, because the faster you can turn around, the faster you can shoot that trace in the noggin, you know what I'm saying? But if this still feels too fast to you, I would still recommend using in between 65% and 80%. Just so you can still react as fast as possible whilst not losing track of what you are actually doing at that moment. Then moving on to emesis strength and window size. So these are personal preference, but I mostly, for all my heroes, use 50% emesis window size, except for hit scan heroes, being Cassidy, Widow, Ashe, those type of heroes. You always want it to be lower because you need to make more accurate precision shots, and it also helps having it lower when you flick your joystick like I do. Then moving on to aim assist legacy mode. So basically what this is how aim assist was on Overwatch 1. It was way different. It was kind of like an entire different type of aim assist, if that makes any sense. But now they've changed it so you can't use your aim assist ease in, or you can't adjust your aim assist ease in when you have this on. Which is a weird change, but I felt like it wasn't really a thing that we needed, to be honest with you. Because it always, to me at least, it felt a little sticky when your aim assist kicks in, unless you have a small window size. And even then, sudden movements like a tracer blinking past you could throw you off. So it was kind of a win-lose situation. And I'm guessing being able to adjust the aim assist ease in of heroes just made it feel that much more overpowered. Especially considering that they increased the projectile size of literally everything in the game. So yeah, that could probably have something to do with it too. And now for the important bits. So if you don't know what these do, I am going to put a little video right here that explains exactly what it is. And if you already know what these do, just skip to this timestamp right there. Every hero in this game has a hitbox, and aim assist ease in is basically the percentage of the hitbox that gets affected by the full strength of aim assist. So for example, if you have your aim assist strength on, let's say, 80% like I do, only 20% of the hero's hitbox will be affected with the full strength of the aim assist. The other 80% will be slowed down until it reaches that 20%. Where let's say you are using 0% aim assist ease in, you will have 100% aim assist strength as soon as you hit the target's hitbox. Then moving on to aim smoothing, which is basically just every movement that you make on your thumbstick gets smoothed out just a little bit. So let's say you are struggling to shoot long range, this just makes it a little easier to keep track of people when they are a fair distance from you.
I'm on fire. Might have used too much light.
Then we have aim ease in and dead zone, which kind of goes hand in hand. So let me explain. So aim ease in was the only way to actually change your dead zone. But then they added real dead zone, which I wish they added in season 1, because this is huge for controller players. So in a dead zone is how far you need to move your stick before your camera starts moving, which means the lower the number, the faster it'll react. And then obviously the higher the number, the slower it'll react. So let's say your inner dead zone is on 0.90, you will have to move your thumbstick 90% to the side to actually just simply move your camera. But let's say you use 0.06 in a dead zone. You will barely have to move your thumbstick to get the movements that you actually want. Your outer dead zone, on the other hand, controls how much you need to move your stick to get 100% acceleration. So the normal value of your outer dead zone is 100% basically. So if you want your full acceleration, you would need to move your stick entirely to the side if you want your full acceleration. Where let's say you use your outer dead zone on 0.10, you would need to move your thumbstick 10% to get your full speed, which makes your aim very wonky. Don't do that. Okay, so now that you are caught up with what these do, let's talk about the aim assist ease in real quick. For some reason, and I don't know why, the aim assist ease in just feels way stronger on a Xbox than it does on a PlayStation. I don't know if it's a controller thing. I don't know if it's a console thing. Someone let me know in the comments down below that play PC with, both PlayStation and, Xbox controllers. I don't know if there's an actual controller difference or if it's on the console, but if you're on PlayStation, I recommend using the aim assist ease in on 0. You can have this low. You can have this like on 0, 10, 20, and that will still feel good. That will still feel smooth. But on the other hand, on Xbox, you want your aim assist ease in to be high, like 80, 90%, because for some reason it just feels so much more powerful on Xbox. Anyway, moving on to aim smoothing. So I use 10% aim smoothing both on Xbox and PlayStation, and this seems to work great, as well as the aim ease in 20%. It just feels right both on Xbox and PlayStation, so I just keep this as is. But as you'll notice that I actually disabled my dead zones. And the only reason for that being is because I use the aim ease in as my quote-unquote dead zone. If I wanted to be more sensitive, I would just lower my aim ease in. And if I wanted to be slower, I would just up my aim ease in, and then that would fix the problem 80-90% of the time. Then last but not least, we need to actually talk about settings. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to take this and adjust it to your preference. If it's too fast, lower the horizontal and vertical sensitivity. If it feels too twitchy, up your aim ease in. If it feels too slow, lower your aim ease in. And then what I want you to do is actually stick to these settings. Do not change these settings the entire time. Muscle memory is so important in games like Overwatch, and if you keep changing these settings, you won't make any progress, because everything you've learned up until that point will be lost as soon as you change these settings. Remember, if you change these settings right now and you feel comfortable with them, stick to them. If you feel like one day it's slower than the other day, I promise you it isn't. You just need to learn and adapt and use these settings to your full potential. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys actually use these settings and stick to them, because it's literally the most important part. And then for the PC players, dude, I'm sorry, bro. Like I try to think of something that could help you, but you simply don't have aim assist, bro. So I don't know. I'm sorry, I guess.